Okay, hi. As you can tell from the title, I'm here to talk about being neurodivergent and only being diagnosed like later in life. And I know that there are people who even got diagnosed later than me, but I'll just be straight up. So I have ADHD and I got diagnosed at age 23. So yeah, it's definitely it would have been helpful to know that maybe before I went through all of my years of school, maybe before I went through many different issues with my life, wondering why I was being bullied for certain reasons. So yeah, ever since I was a kid, I honestly was pretty much like told that I was kind of dumb. Not like legitimately, it was mostly by like other people. And my mom, she wasn't like saying that I was dumb, but she did point out an observation of saying, oh yeah, whenever you were in dance class, like everybody did their move and then you would change your move like 5 seconds after them. So it was kind of like not a very fast learner, as you could tell. And it's almost like that totally doesn't haunt me or piss me off for the rest of my life or anything. Yeah. So yeah. And then in school, right? I always felt like I was working 10 times as hard, but getting 1/10 of the results in comparison to my fellow classmates. Now that's slightly an exaggeration because when it came to non-honors and like regular level classes, I was considered to be very smart in those classes. My classmates oftentimes would be like, "Oh my god, I wonder how you were able to get just teach me how you're able to get such good grades and stuff. Like I want the good grades that you get." And then like I'm just kind of like, hate to break it to you, but it's cuz I'm studying for many hours. It's cuz I'm actually working my A star off. This stuff doesn't just come to my mind naturally as much as I wish it could have. And then the great contrast of when I was in some more AP classes, honors level classes, and stuff like that, I was then thought of as really dumb by my fellow Chinese American classmates. Maybe not just Chinese American, Asian, and just other, not even just like Asian people, but like other people who were also in higher level classes. I'm sure that some of them had opinions on me not learning very fast. So that was great. The contrast between the two was honestly kind of jarring. It was really giving me whiplash. And I remember in elementary school, I was not placed in the gifted program, and apparently, I was one of few Chinese American kids who was not placed in the gifted program, which is totally confidence boosting. Not being sarcastic at all. Totally didn't have face judgment from not being in the gifted class like everybody else my age who was Chinese. Yeah, totally don't have any trauma from that or anything. And so yeah, and I took standardized testing like many other American classmates. We all had to do ACTs or SATs, and I heard from many other people that they're just like, oh yeah, I didn't really have to study, and I just got full scores. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but as far as what I could tell from what these people were saying, I know that some of them are undermining the amount of hard work they might have put in, but I genuinely think that some of them were able to put in way less effort than me. Like, I had to work my butt off just to make my ACT score go up by like 1 point, right? This testing was not coming naturally to me. And the fact that I was able to like hit at least a 30 on the ACT is super impressive for somebody like me who cannot just does not do well on testing in general. So yeah, but that wasn't enough, and I was actually made fun of by this lady because her son didn't get into the business school that I got into, and so as a result, she decided to spread around the Chinese community about how my score was super low and the fact that I should not have gotten in. And so I feel like my ADHD definitely like contributed to that because I was never really perceived as smart because I have ADHD. And obviously, I'm not trying to make this a sob story, right? Because this is like it made me who I am. But when I was younger though, before I found myself, I was struggling. And outside of school, right, I kind of already talked about remembering dance moves, and now I'll go even deeper. So for dance classes, I was always put in the last row usually because according to the teacher, I was just too dumb, didn't learn fast enough. And then for kung fu forms though, I love my teacher for kung fu. He always had so much patience with me, and like he knows me well, like he knows that I do be forgetting moves and stuff. But because he knows me very well, and I've been in his classes, like I've been able to persevere and improve a lot. But I couldn't say the same for all of my dance teachers, although I love some of my dance teachers, but especially the one I had as a kid. Because I learned too slowly, he would always put me in the back. So that definitely was a big confidence booster, not being sarcastic at all. Yeah, and I think in general I get told and made fun of by people in my classes, like even though sometimes they mean it as like a lighthearted way, but it's honestly not a great feeling when they're like, "Oh, look at you forgetting your moves again" or stuff like that. Like, okay, I get it, but like you don't understand the struggle of not being able to remember moves that well. It's really not that fun. You should try. Um, yeah, and so I kind of talked about my education, academic trauma. I talked about my trauma from being in my sports, and I guess now I can move on to university. That's still kind of academic, and plus uh in my extracurriculars. So yeah, this is where more of the lore really decided to start. So I was actually in a college organization, right? And I guess like because people like to dig stuff up, I think I just can't go into too much detail, and also because of time reasons, I don't want to like take forever. But there was this college organization in which I pretty much kind of started it again after it died for a few years. Like the club, it existed before, but then it was gone and not active for many years. And so then during my freshman year, I was like, let's start it back up, right? And because I started it back up, I was with others on the executive board. And let's just say that one of them made it his main mission to kick me the F out of there. And not only did he kick me off of being co-president, then he later on used my semester abroad time to then kick me off the entire executive board of a club that I very much helped build up, which is crazy to think about. And so then, because of my me not wanting to be treated unfairly anymore, after being kicked off of the executive board of the own club that I kind of started, I was like, fine, I'll just go back and be a normal member. And before you go like, why do you join it again? Like, okay, yeah, you're right. I could have just quit, right? But I wanted to have the sport in my life, and I didn't want to do it by myself because I wanted to use the resources of the organization. And also, the regular members, I became really good friends with them. So, as much as I disliked the board members a lot of the times, the regular members were the reason why I decided to keep going with the club. And of course, I got to perform. So, yeah. Um, but we'll be really honest here. I was bullied, and a big portion of it, I would say, was because I was neurodivergent, and none of us knew. And I don't know how to put this, but like I just feel like things could have been communicated to me better, because I realized that a lot of problems that I have with these people and the way that they treat me terribly is that they never communicate like the issue that they have with me, and then they just let it keep going until one day they just decide to explode, and I'm just like, whoa, where's all this anger coming from? And then like I become the person on the receiving end of all of that torture, right? So yeah, and then we move on from university, which also in university I was struggling academically. I don't even think I need to go into too much more detail. I already said before in my previous videos I was an accounting and information systems dual degree, and I was not good at accounting, and so therefore I had to put in way more effort than probably a lot of my other classmates. And I still was doing absolute BS in terms of grades and stuff. So that was great. But it's okay. Like I survived, right? And then for jobs, I had that corporate position, right? And I'm pretty sure it was also because of my neurodivergency, where I wasn't sadly able to learn as fast as what the senior associates wanted me to learn at, and the managers, and just all the higher ups. And so because they expect you to be a robot who can just do stuff easily, or if you're able to be buddy buddy with all the higher ups, which I definitely was not at that point, then you are probably on the chopping block for being laid off. And so that is what happened to me. And I think that if I was able to learn super fast just like that, right, despite the lack of training somehow, I think that I could have stayed in that position. But also, I guess that I just am not built for something like that. I'm built for something way bigger. Um, and yeah, so all right, I talked about all the bad stuff, but I also want to turn it around and talk about, the good things, and how it allowed me to realize who I am and embrace myself despite all of the bad things that come with it. I guess something that I can say is it can be kind of annoying when people do go like, "Oh, well, you have ADHD, it's your superpower." Like, okay, yeah, it is. But let's like not just act like there were no struggles behind the scenes, cuz I'm still struggling all the time. So yeah. But I do have to say, I do get really good at things when I like them and have the passion for them, and I happen to have a passion for many different things in my life, right? So music. I thought that everybody was able to like be as well versed as I can be with music. Like I can date you back to the exact time I was listening to a song. Like for example, This Is What You Came For. I was listening to it May of 2016, right? And that's just only one of many examples. Um I also just hear remix ideas in my mind all the time without really putting much thought into it. And I like get the beats of the songs really well. And if I hear a song that starts to play for around like 1 second of the instrumental, I can usually guess what the song is. Sometimes I'm wrong, but usually I'm correct. If I don't know the song, obviously I can't guess what the song is correctly. But yeah, just like all that stuff. And then my voice, I guess apparently naturally, I just didn't need too much training for it to sound passable in terms of performing. But I definitely want the vocal lessons to, understand the technicalities of singing and getting better at it. But that is something that I was, I guess, talented with since the beginning. I just didn't really know it until I reached my 20s, if I'm going to be honest. But because I love it so much that I'm able to dedicate my time and effort into it, and it definitely, a lot of that has come into fruition. Also with martial arts, and as much as I'm slow at learning the moves, and same with coming to dance, like being in dance for many years, at the end of the day, has helped me with learning stuff faster eventually. It's gotten to a point where in my current dance class, because my current dance class is oftentimes like the most of the classmates are a generation above me, I and my friend ended up being the leaders of that class because we happen to be the fastest learners of that class and the best dancers, which I'm still not used to that because of all the imposter syndrome and being put in the last row in all of my other previous dance classes. So yeah, it's crazy to all of a sudden be at that point, but it showed me that, my efforts did pay off. And same with my Kung Fu stuff. Even though I'm still slow at learning the moves to this day, I've apparently reached a time where I can be considered decent enough at the sport, which I'm also kind of like, oh, that's weird. I'm not used to that. But yeah, it's because I have a lot of perseverance. It's because I'm super used to rejection, not doing well on the first try and stuff. And same goes for all those dance auditions, even though I never got into a single one of those dancing organizations. The fact that I just went to every single audition, um, meant that I had the perseverance and the passion for something. So yeah, I guess like I kind of just did say my whole entire life story, might I say even kind of sob story of being diagnosed with ADHD at a super late age. But I hope that, if you relate to this video, that you know that you're very much not alone and that I believe in you and the fact that you can definitely find your place in this world and see what you're good at, because I don't believe in the fact that you're not good at anything. There's something you are good at. You just need to take the time to find that. And it does not need to be something super big. Like it can literally be like, oh, I'm good at matching my clothes to my makeup or something. Like that's a talent, So find that talent of yours, delve into it, and even if you're being treated badly by all these people, just know that you are an amazing person and that I think that you're an amazing person and that you need to believe that about yourself, and then other people around you will start believing that, because I definitely realize that as I embrace my identity and go like, oh yeah, I definitely am an ADHDer, but also I don't let it limit me, right? I've really found my true friends and the people who love and appreciate me, and those people have stuck throughout my life. And the ones who have treated me badly because of it, you all can go eat SHIT. I hope you rot in HE double hockey sticks. Also, I'm not sorry, that's a little bit rude, but I would never go out of my way to make somebody feel terrible just because I think that they learn a little bit more slowly than me, unlike these people, right? So yeah, find yourself. You're amazing. I believe in you, and believe in yourself. Okay, I should probably stop talking. This video is about to reach 14 minutes. Thank you so much for listening.